We must speak quickly. We cannot risk being discovered. I have made arrangements. I can get the 13 we discussed into position. But, tell me, do you think Mr. Benet's plan will work?
A better plan is to use this opportunity to rescue everyone. But Synths will have to fight for it.
And I thought Mr. Benet's plan was too ambitious. Of course, I'd fight for my freedom. And I know of a few others that might as well. But enough to face all the guards? Perhaps, if we stand up openly to the scientists, more of my people would join us. Yes. Even if most don't join the fight, certainly there are many others who have been waiting their whole lives. But we should be.
All people want to be free. They just need the opportunity to take it.
If the Railroad inspires everyone like you do, the SRB is wise to fear you. You will give my people an... I admire Mr. Benet a great deal. We can't tell him about this plan. It's his people we'll be fighting. I will talk to my friends. Meet me here tomorrow. If I don't make our appointment, assume the worst.
Synth Unit, you were scheduled for maintenance duty in SRB last night. Anything you'd like to report?
Nothing to report, sir. I carried out my duties, as usual.
Dr. Ao saw you accessing a terminal. You know you are not permitted to access terminals in that section. Is Dr. Ao mistaken?
Yes. I mean, no, he's not. But I was only...
What is it? Were you or weren't you accessing a terminal in SRB?
I was. But I swear it's not what it sounds like. I was cleaning the terminal, and it switched on by mistake. I was just shutting it down.
Was that a stutter? Have you developed a defect, Unit? Maybe you need to be reset.
Sir, I assure you that won't be necessary. It won't happen again.
See that it doesn't. You don't want me to tell you twice. Now get back to your duties.
You get me what we talked about, and I'm in business.
Liam, I got your username and password.
You railroad guys really deliver, you know? Hooking that ancient tech up to the mark. So hand it over and I'll get started.
Here you go.
Great. Listen, I need a favor. Z-114 is working the atrium again. Can you give him an update? It's safer if you do it.
Z1.
I asked my friends if they'd take up arms for their freedom. I was surprised at the number of volunteers. Perhaps once the fighting begins, many others will join us. But we will fight and die very quickly unless we have weapons. A lot of them. Given the right materials, we can make our own crude but serviceable weapons. Unfortunately, we're missing a few critical ingredients.
I have weapons I can give you.
Excellent. Deposit anything you can spare in Maintenance Closet 3B. But we need enough weapons to arm an entire rebellion, so the ingredients are still necessary.
Tell me how I can help.
We've come up with a plan to get what we need. The Institute's always expanding. Excavation just completed on one of the sublevels. The mining equipment has been packed into crates, and they haven't been moved yet. That equipment has everything we need.
Right.
Thanks to Mr. Binet, the construction crew is populated solely by my friends. But they're under constant supervision. How do you feel about killing some guards?
I'll do it.
Thank you. After you eliminate the guards, to the SRB, it will be a and then...
Dr. Carlin's doing some amazing things with our genetically engineered crops.
You're here. Glad you made it.
Hello.
So you were there
Please
to make
ensure
the
that your
promise?
dietary requirements are being fulfilled.
Sir, we've had another situation. A code red.
What? This is the third time in 2 weeks. This is unacceptable. How can this happen?
We think there was a system glitch. We're looking into it.
Damn it, you're all useless. I'll figure out what happened. In the meantime, tell the others to be on high alert. I want more patrols and more rounds.
Right away, sir.
If you see anything suspicious, report it immediately. This absolutely cannot happen.
Contact detected. Possibly.
Thank you, stranger. Leave now. Soon, this will all be under rubble. Remember Z1's plan, everyone. Grab everything we can use. The crates, especially.
Listen, it's just remarkable.
You have done your part, and we'll do ours. Weapon construction will begin immediately.
This is a good start.
The greatest challenge remaining is keeping all of this secret from the SRB. So we're being very careful, which, unfortunately, takes time. For now, please continue working with Father. We can't afford for him to grow. When my people are ready, I will come.
Good day.
I'm glad to see you return safely. I know the task was difficult.
Gabriel and his gang were sick bastards, hanging their victims up like trophies.
Well, we can do... But enough about that. I couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. While you were away, you'll find all the basic... Go and have a look.
Your quarters are just inside, sir.
Well, hello.
Sometimes I hide my dad's work notes just to mess with him. It drives him crazy.
When you're finished here, sir, Father wants to see you.
Sean.
Ah. Hello, Father. Tell me, what would you do?
After everything
I'm sorry, Father. The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the... They no doubt mean to free. You've been in contact with the Railroad, so you're aware of their misguided...
They mean well. They're only doing what they think is right.
You dealt with Libertalia. That's... Usually they are a minor nuisance, but lately they have become more... I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response... We have learned the current location of these synths, and need to reacquire...
Sounds pretty simple.
Hopefully, yes. But it's important.
Sure.
We also don't want...
I'll act quickly.
You'll have a contact waiting for you.
Can I talk to you?
Something on your mind?
The Institute knows about Bunker Hill. They're planning to recapture the synths there.
The timing couldn't be worse. The old man's been sitting on those 4 synths. There's nowhere else that's safe we could put them. Maintaining your cover is vital. But the sacrifice is just too great.
How much damage would it cause if we let them hit us?
We're running out of places to hide our synths. That's why we put so many eggs in one crowded basket to begin with. So what would we lose? 4 synths, Stockton, some of our best agents, and the inevitable... We've never known when and where the Institute would strike us next. But now we have a chance to turn the table. We wait until the enemy is in position, then we hit them hard. No one they send out comes back alive except you.
Won't the Institute be suspicious if I'm the only one left?
You're a lot tougher than anyone else in their outfit. If only one person could survive, it would be you. And any story you come up with won't be contradicted. We can't attack too early. We need to draw them into the kill zone, and then spring the trap. You'll know when. You'll probably have a Courser escort. You'll have to take him down. You've done it before, but it'll still be dangerous.
Is all this really worth it?
We can't...
Right.
It's a risk.
Pam needs you in her room.
I've been waiting for you.
Sorry to have held you up.
Try and keep up from here out. Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the settlement is uninvolved and are expected to run for cover. The situation appears to have escalated. A covert approach is likely impossible. We move in, secure the synths, and I relay out.
Yeah, we've got this.
Remember, the synths, here are the recall codes. SRB intelligence reports indicate that the mission's parameters just changed. We're going shooting. Requesting backup relay now.
Got company.
I can't believe you'd do that for us. Thank you. I can't believe you'd do that for us. Thank you. You've given us another chance at life. We won't forget it.
We'll get somewhere safe as soon as you're gone.
Thank you for sparing us.
I can't believe you'd do that for us. Thank you. I can't believe you'd do that for us. Thank you.
sign of him now.
What the fuck was that?
This is bullshit.
What the hell was that?
Approach and identify yourself. Law-abiding citizens will not be harmed. Initiating search for hostile target.
Someone gonna splatter your brain! Who's there? Somewhere.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The only hope for you.
It wasn't always like this. It used to be different.
I can only imagine. Standing here, I know that to you I was kidnapped. Both of us.
They kept me alive, too.
They did, indeed. I was the perfect. Well, the Institute, it only made sense that I'll admit, to not only do so, extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out.
Yes.
Right.
Certainly it was no longer an experiment of sort. I had no idea what would the Commonwealth corrupt you. Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me?
Sean, you need to know.
I can see that you do. Soon, I hope. I hope. A future which I hope. Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to...
We were totally ambushed. They were waiting for us.
You can imagine that I find that very hard to... Bunker Hill was to cement and to see the Brotherhood of... I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, It's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside.
Sure.
I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further.
Call this a clean floor. Are your visual receptors malfunctioning? Can you not see the grime and dust?
My apologies, sir. I was issued a defective cleansing unit.
Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this.
Good, we're all here.
Perhaps
I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ao has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
I have no idea what that is.
I'll admit I'm relieved. It's intended to be something of a classified project, which I'm sure means everyone already knows about it. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen. I'm not talking about some abstract. With every advance the Institute made, many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow.
In this world, I'm sure compromise is necessary.
Quite right. For Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Sounds like an important step.
That's... well... The reactor is close to ready. But recent tests have determined we have a few and to how you will help.
Sir?
Yes, Dr. Ao. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yet. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for... Now, there is one...
I don't know that...
Right.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. As I'm sure several... I'm sorry, this is... Our best efforts have failed. I'm...
What?
Can't be
Please,
serious.
everyone, please. I am sorry.
This can't be happening. I only just found you.
I've had the same thought. We can talk more later. Right, but the Institute cannot survive without me. To that end, I am...
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
Seems a poor choice.
Ignoring your borderline insubordinate... The Institute has a... I believe my father has... This will conclude this.
The Institute's a big place. It might take a while to learn where everything is.
I had no idea.
I know this is... Well, it's a lot to take in at once.
I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I can do the job.
Of course you can. That's why There's no question that some of the Directorate... That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. There are hard decisions ahead.
Sure.
Nice work, bringing that rogue synth back.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation,
Absolutely.
All right. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. We're going to have to cut some corners. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a
Consider it done.
I'll consider it done when I've got it in my hand.
Sounds good.
Not as much, but here we are, with our options. Not to put more pressure on. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and I'll meet you there.
Greetings, sir. Welcome to the commissary. Would you care for food?
Guess we'll have to go through them.
Allie.
Well, isn't this fun?
Something's out there. Target located. Heads up, they went dark.
No mercy. Victory!
False alarm, I guess.
Live the brother.
Nice.
There's the reactor. Not a bad piece of work for its time. Guess they weren't so good at mitigating radiation back in those days. Levels are almost off the charts. I'll monitor things from here.
Dr. Fillmore.
Looks pretty dangerous in there. You have any sort of radiation protection on you?
Don't worry about me. I'm all set.
Okay, good. See? This is why.
Right.
Look, they worked on the reactor.
Now cycling airlock. Please wait. Initiating decontamination sequence. Decontamination complete. You may proceed.
Thing we're looking for. It should be an important target.
Security alert in the reactor chamber. Emergency lockdown initiated. Please wait. Decontamination complete.
Sensor alert. Anomaly detected.
Dr. Fillmore.
This wasn't really what I planned on doing today.
Allie.
At least we got to it first. At least we got to it first. Just don't know when they're beaten, do they? I'll help the synth buy some time. Make sure you get back to the Institute with the agitator.
Allie.
This wasn't really what I planned on doing today.
From what I hear, that rogue synth in Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
We are honored to welcome you here.
I apologize for any disruptions that my work might cause you.
The
Dr. Fillmore.
Institute's a big place. It might take a while to learn where. I think that was enough excitement for, well, thank you, really. I'll make sure the agitator. I understand Father is anxious.
Interesting. You're sticking to the regimen we agreed upon?
Yes, Doctor. I'm taking all my little pills.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. I think that will be all for now.
But I haven't quite finished.
I believe we're done now. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I understand mass fusion was a success, despite interference from the Brotherhood of Steel.
We handled them just fine.
That's what the Brotherhood's intervention must be placed in future conflict. It also, I of course never doubted your commitment to our cause. I'm proud of you, regardless. The Brotherhood is an issue for the future, and we must focus on the present. And look at me, rambling on like the old man I am. I'm wasting time. You're needed elsewhere at once.
Whatever it is, I can take care of it.
I certainly hope so. While you were working with Dr. Fillmore, a small team was dispatched elsewhere in the Commonwealth. Dr. Thompson was tasked with...
Sounds simple enough.
It was supposed to be, yes. There was no indication that this would be a problem. But the arrival of the team was somewhere along. I'm sure they're not... I'll be waiting.
Take good care of yourself. You won't have to see too much.
Starting to worry we might not make it out of here. For that. I know he's potent.
If he's really important to the Institute.
You're right, I suppose. I know they've been keeping an eye on him for years. But once they realized how smart he was and what I think they even fed. Let's just get Wallace.
No argument from me. Let's go.
Right. There's just, well, there's a slight problem with that. He doesn't want to go with us. I was thinking.
No problem.
I hope so.
Useless. Mr. Wallace, I'm here to talk to you.
You're another one of them, aren't you? Are you a robot?
Please, try and relax. I know this is an unusual situation.
No! You're here to kidnap me! That's what you people do, isn't it? I've heard all the stories. I don't...
Hey, just calm down, okay? I just want to talk to you.
Fine, fine. What do you want from me?
The Institute needs your help, Mr. Wallace. It's as simple as that.
My help? With what?
The Institute has an engineering problem that your scientific expertise could help solve. In exchange for helping us out, You'd be granted whatever research you want. You'd be safe and...
You'd be helping us create a better world.
That sounds... Okay, fine.
I'm looking forward to working for you, future director. Okay. I think we've got this under control. Thanks.
Hey, I'm here to...
I really mean... I'll see you back.
Nothing to report, sir.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalian. Quite a handful.
There you are. I cannot express how pleased I am. Our new guest is familiar. With his help, Phase 3 will be...
I'm proud to help the Institute. Here's hoping it all pays off.
At this point, there is no doubt. It will succeed. There is one more part for you. It is time to announce our presence to the...
That's a good idea. Hopefully we can prevent violence.
Yes, that is one goal. And if you are to be the new director of the Institute, you should be the one to do it. We use the microphone.
For years now, you have suspected that the Institute still exists. That we are among you. It is true. But it is not the whole truth. We're here. And we are. Here to help. Our superior technology represents the future of the Commonwealth. Today, we activate our nuclear reactor, ensuring that we will persevere long after the world above ground ceases to exist. Ensuring that mankind has a future. We have no desire to interfere in the unimportant details of your personal freedoms. We simply insist that you do not interfere with Institute operations. To do so would result in tragedy for all involved. Rest easy. Know that the future is looking bright, and that mankind will thrive under our...
Well, that was... perhaps not what we originally intended, but it will certainly. Now it's time to...
Sure.
How would you feel about making a little...
I could use some fresh air.
A quaint phrase. On the radio station, if we'd like the... Before we... I've been assured that the necessary parts are on. Report back with...
So, I bet you're eager to get your hands...
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll help.
It will. Come on. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Prydwen might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in. This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood.
Excuse me, Paladin Danse.
I've informed Captain Kells of your search for the missing recon team.
It's the most advanced
Going
robot
forward,
the Brotherhood
report your
has ever
findings
had
directly
at its
to him.
disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded. In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational.
It'll take a miracle to get this pile of junk operational.
You think he looks rough now? You should have seen him when I unsealed the salvage crates filled with his parts. Now, the good news, right? The bad news is that it's gonna... The first problem...
Why is the power blowing out his CPU?
Liberty Prime has a highly complex power system. A good deal of that system...
Sure.
Luckily, you were able to convince Dr. Madison. She was on the original build. I've already spoken to her, but... If you could get her down...
Proctor.
Head up to the Prydwen and tell Dr. Lee we need her help. I'll see what I can do down here.
Watch out. Don't want to flatten you.
Oh, God. All that on a stick was a really bad idea. Excuse me.
I'd gladly lay down my life if it keeps me.
No matter how many battles we win, there's always another.
Hold up, Knight. Let me make one thing clear. As a member of the Brotherhood, you serve under my command. When I give you a mission, I expect...
Perfectly.
Good. Paladin Danse has already briefed me on your search for the...
I've completed my investigation into the missing recon team. Paladin...
Brandis. What happened to him?
I convinced him to return to the Brotherhood.
Well done. It may be difficult for him to adjust to life in the Brotherhood again, but his experience should serve us well. Very well. Is there anything else?
Do you want their holotapes?
Thank you. I'll see that they make it to their next of kin.
That's all.
I'll prepare a full report for the Elder. In the meantime, allow... This was no easy... Now, I have a more pressing matter that... I've received reports that supplies have been disappearing from our supply depot at the air.
If so, that's a serious security risk.
That's what worries me. If there is a traitor,
Sure.
I want you to take charge. Report to Knight Sergeant Gavel at the base. Beyond that...
Yes, sir.
Reactor at 100% of...
Attention. Due to increased raider activity, all leave requests to off-base sites have been temporarily suspended. Affected parties will have their leave compensated at the next available opportunity. That is all.
We should bring them to Proctor Quinlan for analysis.
I heard that Elder Maxon got
Dr.
that
Lee.
scar on his face.
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty...
We had a deal.
I said I'd return to the Brotherhood of... But you, Nikolai... I've been down this road. Why would I make the same...
Help us end the Institute's...
Food, medicine, and comfort. How could I be so blind to the Institute's greed? Oh, you really know how to push my button.
Right.
Tell Proctor Ingram to get... It's going to take a hell of a...
Oh man, if I'm late for muster one more time, Captain Kells is gonna have...
Liberating the Commonwealth is a huge responsibility. But we'll get the job done.